Afternoon, everyone. I decided to do a screencast to walk you through how to update through DDA the instructional delivery type on all of these sections that have been pushed over from Power Scheduler, because as you know, this is the first year, and so none of those fields will be filled out. You won't need to do this every year, but we need to do it this first year just to get all of those fields in there. Or you can choose to touch each section by hand and update it, completely up to you. But if you want to do it in math, here are the steps on doing so. First, go to one of your schools. In order to update it through DDA, you've got to know the ID associated with that standard instruction type in your LEA, and each LEA has a different ID number associated with it. So first we have to find that number. In order to find that number, we've got to actually manually put it on one section of a course so that we can pull it out of DDE to find it. So I'm going to go to Teacher Schedules, pick a teacher, any teacher, does not matter which one. Go into a section of a class. So I'm going to pick Academic Opportunity. Click on that section number. You will see the instructional delivery type is blank, as it is on all the sections that you have pushed over from Power Scheduler, because this is not an option to set up inside of Power Scheduler. If you have done all your scheduling on the live side, you've probably done this as you've gone along and won't need to do these steps right here. So I'm going to choose the standard instruction face-to-face because that is what the majority of all of our classes are. So I will start by mass applying this to all of my sections, and then I will go find the sections that this do not apply to, and then change it to, we won't be using that one, but either this one or this one, depending on what the course is. So I'm going to choose standard instruction face-to-face, and I'm going to submit. Okay, that's enough to trigger the ID to be created. So now what I have to do is go pull that ID number out of DDE. So I'm going to come over here to Setup in System, Direct Database Export. You are going to go to the Sections table. So here's sections right here. I'm going to select all of the records in my table, and we'll all have different numbers on there, so don't worry about that number. And you want to choose to export records. Now, as you see, I've been playing around with this to make sure that I understood how to do this before I shared with everyone. But you'll want to go and in this drop-down list through all these choices right here, these are the three that you want to pull. This is the actual field name on the sections table that we just entered on that page, but I also pulled the course number and section number just because you can see that it's that one course and section number that you just changed. So I'm going to change this field delimiter to comma because I'm going to move it to a CSV instead of a text tab delimited file because I don't like looking at those. So I'm going to hit submit. And we're going to give it a minute to populate that file. So it's a downloading here. I'm going to say show in my folder, and again you see that I've been working on these, so I'm going to rename this, putting version 7 because I don't want it to get it confused, and I want to change the text to CSV. So you give me a warning about it not being usable. We understand that, and so that now changes it to a CSV file so that when I open, now I can see this. Now, preface this with saying I've done this a few times, so you're going to see my number populated a bunch of times. You should only see it one time on that one course that you did. So if you don't see it inside of this list, you might have to scroll through all these, or you can do a sort and filter and go find it. But the thing is, you need this number. Now, don't use my number because my number is only for my LEA. You are going to need to use the number that you populate for your LEA. Okay, so again, you're going to get this file and you need to write down this number right here because this is the number that associates with that standard instruction delivery type for your LEA. Again, do not use this 133 number because it will not do you any good in your district. Once you have that number, now we know what we need to update to. And so this is where we have to go into DDA to actually do the modification to this field name in your district. So I can go to Direct Database Export, which is where I'm at right here. And And if you've done the DDA training, you know that to get to DDA, you have to back this up and change it to USM. And then now we've got to go find that record to modify. So I'm still in the sections table, and if I want to do this in all one fell swoop, then I would go find and just search through all of my sections. If there are only certain courses or certain sections that you would want, you would need to filter this down beyond that. So if I wanted to go even further and say I only want course number such and such to change this, I would need to go find that specific course number, search within those sections, and whittle this number down till I get the target courses that I'm looking at. I want to change them to every section that I have built in my entire district because they've all got to go to this. So I'm actually going to leave it at this right here, and I'm going to go to Modify Records. And again, this is caution. This is irreversible. If you make this change, it's going to make it, and the only way to undo it is for you to go through this process again and correct it. So it's very important. You might want to test this with one section, whittle that down to one specific course, one specific section number to make sure that you apply it to everything. So just to show you that, let's back up. And let's say I want to apply that just to the course number, and let me pull up my courses. I'm going to apply it to that academic opportunity course that we saw a while ago, to all teachers in that course. So I come back to this. So now I'm just looking at 93 sections. So I have 93 sections of academic opportunity, and I want to modify just that. Again, if you want to do the whole school in one fell swoop, you don't have to filter this down. But I'm going to go to Modify Records, and I'm going to go find the field name that I want to modify. So I go down to find that S_AL_SEC_X .instructional delivery. That is the field name. And you enter in that ID code that you found through DDE earlier. So I put mine in and hit Modify Selected Records, Confirm Modification. And so now those 93 records, if I go look, let's see if it shows me in table view. I don't think it pulls that one. It doesn't. But if I go back to teacher schedule, now keeping in mind I changed Calvin's, but I did not change Kelly's. So if I go to Kelly's academic opportunity, it should have that standard instructional delivery on there, and it sure does. So that is how you would go through and modify and update that instructional delivery field to say standard instruction. Again, whittle it down to whatever course number you want, or apply it to the whole district or the whole school, whichever you prefer and whatever your needs are. Hope this helps.